Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful. Today we will recite few verses from Surah An-Nahl, chapter 16 of the Holy Quran. Surah An-Nahl discusses many issues. One of the important issue discussed in Surah An-Nahl, in this chapter 16 of the Holy Quran, is monotheism. Proofs of monotheism, they are being discussed in this Surah An-Nahl, chapter 16, and refutation of polytheism. And there are also many other issues discussed in this chapter. Many plain signs are being discussed. Many verses are revealed discussing the plain signs in the universe, creation of the heavens, creation of the earth, the celestial bodies, sending down of rain from the sky, signs in the lives of the bees, creation of bees and all the functions performed by bees. These are being discussed as signs. The sea, the moon and stars, all these are subjected for the service of mankind. So many signs are discussed in this surah, in this chapter. So today we will recite from verse number 66 with literal meanings and a brief description. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وإن لكم في الأنعام العبرة نسقيكم مما في بطونه من بين فرث ودم لبنا خالصا سائغا للشاربين وإن and indeed لكم for you في الأنعام in the cattle. العبرة is a lesson. نسقيكم, we give you drink, مما في بطونه, of that which is in their bellies, min bayni farsin, between the bowels, between the excretion, wadamin and blood, labanan, milk, khalisan, pure, sa'ighal lisharibin, palatable to drinkers. Allah Almighty says that indeed there is a lesson for you in the cattle, in the grazing livestock. Allah Almighty says that we give you drink. Nusqikum mimma fi butunihim. We give you drink. Min bayni farsin wa damin. Between the bowels and the blood. Labanan, milk, which is pure. Khalisan, sa'ighal lisharibin, palatable to drinkers. We know that the cattle, they eat grass and leaves, and part of the food they eat is absorbed and becomes a part of the body, and some is excreted, and through very sophisticated mechanisms the milk is produced. So Allah Almighty says that in this there is a lesson for you, that we give you drink, that is the milk which is palatable to drinkers, between the bowels and the blood. وَإِنَّ لَكُمْ فِي الْأَنْعَامِ لَعِبْرَةً نسقيكم مما في بطونه من بين فرث ودم لبنا خالصا سائغا للشاربين ومن and from ثمرات fruit النخيل, the date palms, والأعناب and the grapes, تتخذون, you take, منه from it, سكرا, intoxicant, ورزقا and provision, حسنا, good. إن في ذلك, indeed in that, لآية is surely a sign, لقوم يعقلون, for a people who reason. So Allah Almighty says that in fruits also is a sign for a people who reason. You give the same water and the same earth, the same soil, the same water you give to the land, and you give different types of fruits of different colors, of different tastes, and you benefit from them, you get intoxicants from them, and a good provision. The next verse is verse number 68. Allah Almighty says, وَأَوْهَا, and inspired Rabbuka, your Lord, إِلَى النَّحْلِ, to the bee, أَنِ اتَّخِذِ, to take, مِنَ الْجِبَالِ, among the mountains, بُيُوتًا, houses, وَمِنَ الشَّجَرِ, and among the trees, وَمِمَّا يَعْرِشُونَ, and what they construct. Allah Almighty says that Allah Almighty inspired the bee to take their hives, to take their homes among the mountains and among the trees and in what they construct. That is what the human beings construct. So the creation of bees is not a random phenomenon, and Allah Almighty guides the creation. All the things created by Allah Almighty, they are being created. You know, this is a small creature. The bee is a small creature, and Allah Almighty guides it. وَأَوْهَا رَبُّكَ إِلَى النَّحْلِ أَنِ اتَّخِذِ مِنَ الْجِبَالِ بُيُوتًا وَمِنَ الشَّجَرِ وَمِمَّا يَعْرِشُونَ. So Allah Almighty has guided it to take their hives in the mountains and in the trees and in what the human beings construct. And the bees construct their hives in a very sophisticated way. If you study the structure of the hives, all the boxes are of the same shape. They are hexagonal in shape, and they store the honey produced by the bees, and they protect it, and so sophisticated they are. So they are being constructed in a very engineered way. So all these things, they are not a result of haphazard and random phenomena in the universe. Rather, all these things are a part of a plan, and behind all these things there is intelligence. In this, there is also a lesson for the scholars who say that the human beings are created by Allah Almighty, but there is possibility of evolution in the animals and in the birds. So in verses like these is also a lesson for those people that all the things are being created by Allah Almighty. What do they want to say? That the bees are a result of haphazard and random phenomena. They are produced as a result of evolution, and after that Allah Almighty is guiding them. No, rather Allah Almighty has created the bees and Allah Almighty has guided them. In the next verse, Allah Almighty says, Summa kuli, then eat. Continued from the previous verse, and that Allah Almighty inspired the bee to construct their hives in the mountains and in the trees and in what they construct. So in the next verse, Allah Almighty says, Summa kuli, then eat, min kulli samarat, from all the fruits. That is, the bees are inspired to construct their hives, and they are inspired to eat from all the fruits. Summa kuli min kulli samarat fasluki, and follow subula, the ways, the pathways, Rabbike, of your Lord, zulula, made easy or made smooth. That is, the bees are inspired to eat from all the types of fruits, and they are inspired, they are guided about the ways made easy for them. And they fly from their hives, from their houses, to fruits, to gardens, far away from their houses, and then they come back without any confusion in the ways to their hives. يَخْرُجُ, there comes forth, مِن بُطُونِهَا, of their bellies, شَرَابٌ, drink, مُخْتَلِفٌ, of various, أَلْوَانُهُ, colors, فِيهِ, in that, شِفَاءٌ لِلنَّاسِ, is a healing for people. Allah Almighty says that a drink of various colors comes forth of the bellies of the bees. فِيهِ شِفَاءٌ لِلنَّاسِ, and Allah Almighty says that in that is a cure, is a healing for the people. That is, the honey has medicinal effect and is beneficial for the mankind. فيه شفاء للناس. إن في ذلك, indeed in that, لآية is surely a sign لقوم, for a people, يتفكرون, who reflect. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.